that's another thing that keeps me alive is like I don't want to miss another album. I really and this tour like things like that to look forward to, and like that's the stuff that you have to focus on. But yeah, I really do go like when she announced that she was coming out with Midnights, I was like, I guess I gotta last till October 28th.
Are you ready for
You can't script it.
I follow you, right? I never know. But like, I watched everything, like all of your stuff.
Nikki, I literally was like, okay, so in our DMs, I unsent a bunch of DMs because I was getting so
How are we gonna follow
this?
This is the episode.
It's so crazy. I can't unsend like yours, so like yours are fine. No,
Oh my god.
I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That makes me
I
crazier.
really meant to follow you. I'm very aware of you.
No.
Like, as soon as I saw you, I was like, oh, it's you.
No, it's so nice meeting
I'm
you.
so fan. I'm sorry you got spray tan on your.
No, I'm happy you did. That means a lot. I like
You did.
You are so nice.
I
Let's
like
be
the of you with me. No, Nikki, like I was.
We're gonna be
I
friends.
I was so
Love you,
nervous
my
and I
dad.
had to pee because I was so nervous about meeting you. But I couldn't leave because I was afraid of.
What the fuck?
Seriously, my dream is for girls like you to like me. So I was like, mission accomplished.
I've been talking about you. Holy shit!
all morning. You hear this shit?
Guys, have a great show. You guys.
Thank you.
How are we gonna follow that?
I know. What the fuck?
Jesus Christ, that was so nice. That really is
Look
the
at
goal.
that shirt.
That's a great shirt.
It really is. It's worth the. Oh god, spray tan. It's worth whatever. Oh, thank you, man. Oh my god, yeah, I love seeing your stuff. You have the cardigan.
My
Yeah.
sister had that made for me.
That's like that's
Really?
101.
That's a
Oh,
101,
because you
yeah.
could. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, why not just buy the one? It's probably more
The-
well made because
the-
you didn't want a
I
Chinese
don't,
child
I
to
don't like
make it.
there were little stars on it and stuff like that. I don't care for the stars.
Right, you just wanted. Okay.
I just want the cardigan.
Yeah, I
you
never
know?
got one.
Yeah.
Because I saw people getting one, like celebrities getting the package with it in it. And like so a lot of celebrities were just getting the cardigan as like a promotional thing.
Oh, really?
And so
Oh,
then
but
I
then
was like,
kinda
I'm
fuck
gonna
that,
wait
though.
for my own from
Yeah.
her, and it never
And it
arrived.
never
So now
came.
I'm kind of like, and then I see them on Poshmark for like $1,000. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I will get one.
How much they run?
Dude,
I'm
collect
surpri-
your
that sounds-
Taylor
that
Swift
sounds
merchandise.
Low to me.
I know, but it's like just buy all Taylor Swift merchandise you can, and
Buy everything, Taylor. You can. I think
think
what we
she's
learned.
gonna, like,
dude,
run the world
Who
with
was the guy who was saying he bought like 2 tickets for MetLife for the Eras tour, and then he's like, and then I got 16 others, and I'm gonna put my daughter through college on
Yeah, I saw that.
those. It was like,
I just got offered. A fan was like, I have 2 tickets if you want them. Like, how much do you think I should add? Like, I feel bad, but like I paid this, but and I go literally whatever you want. Like, I'll pay. And she goes 10,000 for 2, and I go. I didn't mean whatever, not that. And then I seriously considered it. Because
No,
I have-
I don't know. Is it like
no, I think
half a
I
nose
think
job
that,
or
I think it was, I think
night
it
of
was
my
like
life?
a fucking frenzy when they first went on sale. I think when the time comes, there'll be like reasonable prices.
do you
I
need to
think-
use
I
like
don't know,
StubHub?
maybe-
You got a guy.
I didn't.
I was gonna say, I'm stunned you're not even, like,
I just got
backstage or
word
something.
last night that like that I'm getting hooked up through Taylor's thing, which
Yeah.
I'm so glad to
You're
finally.
in.
I wasn't.
you met her at all?
Yeah, I met her in 2012 or 13
Oh, okay,
at
so
the
like a
Red
long
Tour,
time.
but I wasn't.
That's
a
when I
Swiftie
met
at the
her,
time.
too.
You did?
I mean, I met her like in a meet and greet line, not like.
Oh right, yeah.
Like
but
it
she was so nice and made you feel.
I've told the
special,
story
right?
numerous times where I'm in front and like the meet and greet, like a regular person meet and greet kind of deal, and the security guard goes, "You gonna hug her?" And I was like, "No, I promise, no." And this was before her like the lawsuit with the meet and greet stuff, and I was like, "No, I'm not gonna." And he's like, "No, man, hug her. Like she's a
hugger."
He's like, "She's exactly what he says." He goes, "She's a hugger," and I was like, "I feel like you are." Setting me up like you're just looking for a little tackle dummy right now.
Yeah.
So I it actually ended up being so much weirder. Where like I kind of crept up like this, like is she gonna give a hug? And she was
You got
like,
a hug?
"Hi!" And she came in big, but I was very like
He's got a great
T-Rex
picture
arms
there.
with it. Like,
Yes.
I was like, how am I
it was
gonna?
his,
I'm the
um,
same way with her. I don't want to meet her now because I just feel like, you know, whenever I meet a fan and they like start crying or they freak out or something, it's like it's a lot of energy to calm them down and to make them feel okay about it. And I can do
Oh my God, that's you meeting her. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
very little sweet pea.
You look like she probably thought you were Ed Sheeran.
Look,
She's like, you're my opening act.
He
I'm
was
so
open.
happy. I'm so proud of you for not doing hover hand too. You just did a fucking.
Don't do
arm
hover
around.
I
It's
had
okay.
If you're taking a picture and
I
like.
think hover hand. If we're going in, if the person you're taking a meet and greet pic with puts their arm around you, you can put your hand on them in a reasonable place.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
like
Don't grab
do
her
the,
ass,
the
but,
priest that with
yeah, the
Ariana
boob
Grande
of the ass.
thing,
Yeah.
or don't do the
Just-
thing. This is the thing they do where they after the picture they'll do this
rub
and
kinda
then
down.
they just
Yeah.
let it like kind of float down
Ah.
and graze, and it's
Yeah.
enough that you can't call it out because they'd go, "What?
Yeah, I didn't do anything."
It was gravity, just my
Yeah.
hand." But then
It's like you're contacting my butt. So
yeah.
whatever it was.
But I don't
fix
want to
that.
meet her because I just feel like it's just gonna be too much for her to be like, "It's okay," and I'm gonna be like, "But you don't understand."
That interaction was.
But that
fucking
interaction
insane.
with Caroline was like, I can handle that because I don't get that much. So like
Yeah.
that once a week or like once every meet and greet, I'm like, I love when girls cry and feel that way because they always just say to me because they know how much I love Taylor Swift. They're like, "You're my Taylor Swift," and I just get it, and I go like,
Right. Totally.
and
Yeah.
I can handle that once or twice a meet and greet, but Taylor Swift, it's like
Every
constantly,
second.
and
Yeah.
and it's just
Taylor
too,
Swift's everyone's Taylor Swift.
I'm not gonna say exactly. I'm not gonna say anything that she hasn't heard that as someone else hasn't expressed to her, and I just feel like it would be too much of her energy exerted to calm me down and to make me feel okay about how much I'm freaking out.
You don't think
that
you
she
could-
should put into a song?
You don't think you could play it cool at all?
I wouldn't want to because it's
It's
like,
like phony. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's given me so much authenticity. I wouldn't want to be like, oh hey,
I would
I'm
love.
Nikki. What's your name?
Yeah. I would love to try to do that to her and see if she would be affected. Like, do you think anybody out there is ever
She,
like?
if you
for
did Taylor, she'd be like, "That's the biggest fucking loser alive."
Yeah.
Because they know
It's
exactly
like
who I am.
that's what I mean.
Yes.
Like, is there anybody maybe like a dad or like somebody older?
Yeah.
who'd be
I don't
like,
think so.
Who are you?
I think
Like, I don't know. I don't think my dad would know.
No, really?
you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Your dad wouldn't know Taylor Swift.
I almost guarantee it.
Is he no
My
longer
dad's
with
pretty,
us?
like-
or something? Like,
In terms of like being connected to the world, yeah, basically. He's
that's
dead.
kind of fun. Do you ever give him like quizzes about like just people? he should
Actually,
know?
maybe I'm wrong because he started to listen to our podcast. So the only thing he would know would be
Oh, okay.
us, which is
And
funny
Camille
because he.
Kostic.
But
This
like,
is the
I don't know
best
by
ad
look.
placement
She
ever.
She
actually
was
just
in here
came
last week. She's like,
and-
"If you ever take that down, I'll fucking
It's
kill
the
you."
best. It's every single episode.
know.
You have that. I love her so much.
I was like, we can never move that now.
Yeah. I don't know if it was gonna be a permanent thing.
Oh,
and
she's
once
great.
once Camille was like, "Don't you dare move that," well, it's a permanent thing now.
Yeah.
I met Jerry Seinfeld this past weekend.
I heard it was not only just meeting. It was like a.
It was
he's
like
a big
a-
fan of you.
Which I didn't expect, and I'm not bringing that up just to say that, but he is a huge fan of mine, and it was a real thing, and like it was-
Totally just bringing it up to say.
It
You
was.
literally brought it up out of nowhere, and
It
it's
was more
totally
about
okay.
the like. I didn't want to because they were like we were both playing at the Borgata. He was doing a different, bigger room, obviously, and they were like my tour manager was like, if you could meet Jerry, do you want to? And I was like, I don't want to bother. Like again, I
Yeah.
love him too
He
much.
also
it's gonna
is-
be too
is
much
a
of me being
little-
like, you don't know what it means to me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Seinfeld,
yeah.
you know.
And he's openly a little bit of a dick when he's like, you know, he's like clowned fans before, and he'll
the
openly
Kesha
kind of
thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
be Kesha.
Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah, I
It's just
forgot
kinda
about that.
I
Right.
don't need this. And
Yeah.
he was right in that moment. And I think she's even coming out as like that was really
Yeah,
gross
yeah.
of me. But so I didn't want to meet him, and then I heard that he wanted to meet me, and I was like, I mean, of course then. And I'm like, right away. And so we go to meet him, and but he was. I felt the same way walking into that. Like, what am I going to say that he hasn't heard?
How can I impress him,
or like
yeah.
just how do I get through to him to let him know that it's not just like talk, that I really like loved him more, like he formed
Well, how
me
about this?
or
What's
whatever.
something that somebody
didn't
could
have
say to you that would get that point across?
Some-
Would it be like a reference from your old comedy? Would it be a reference?
You know, when people say to me, when women or men, it's usually like older people, like people that are older than me are just like, you just keep doing what you're doing. Keep talking the truth. Like keep being honest.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of thing that gets, because that's all I want to do. Like it makes me feel like they know me when they're like, you speak the truth, like keep going.
Yeah.
Like don't let and then it makes me realize like, oh, there's lots of hate for
That's
me.
what I hate when they say that. Like, don't let the haters get
'Cause I
to you.
don't.
Like, I didn't even know about
I
it.
don't know about it either. I don't
You didn't have to
The-
take the curtain off. Like, I have
The amount of
a
people
pretty
that come up to
separation
us
of church and state.
And say like, I don't really understand it, man, but I love you. Like I don't get why everybody else doesn't, but I'm totally like a
Yep.
huge fan. I'm like, there was just no need for that first half of the sentence.
Yes.
No need.
There was some,
I know
like,
you think you're doing
hottest
something nice, but you're not.
hottest comedian, contest on Reddit in like the stand-up comedy thing, or like.
I'm sure that wasn't real toxic.
Yeah, exactly.
Reddit plus
and people
comedy
just go,
plus
"You're in the
hot
finals," and
tour.
kept sending it to me, and I'm like, I don't want to know this. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, I don't want to.
But hey,
just,
finals.
Hey.
Let's go. Hey.
Me and Sarah Silverman. I mean,
Hey, let's
I was
go.
like, I'm happy to take second place in that. But no, but then at the same time, when I was talking to Jerry backstage, and we were talking about how the finale of his show, I told this story just to kind of, I felt like, this story kind of encapsulates how much I love Seinfeld. I was like, in 8th grade, my algebra teacher let me have. Friday was supposed to be our test for the end of the year or whatever, and Seinfeld was airing their finale on Thursday
night,
and
yeah.
I couldn't do anything that night. It was about Seinfeld for me, and he knew how important it was for me. So he said, "You can take the test on Monday."
That's
which
a
is
good
just-
story. That's something I think we
That-
get through
yeah.
to Jerry.
That's how much
I don't think he's ever heard
in
that
8th
before.
grade,
Yeah.
a girl in 8th grade loved Seinfeld that much. So I told him, he goes, "Well, I'm sorry about the finale and how bad it was." And I go, "No, I loved it. Like,
I never had a problem with the finale.
people hated it because it was a departure
Wait,
from."
what did he? So he agrees that it was bad?
No, he just goes, I'm
I
sorry,
know
because
that
he's
people-
heard so much.
Yeah,
and then we were talking about it, and he said the reason that he did that episode, which, if you remember, it was like they are making fun of a fat guy, and then he gets robbed.
Samaritan law.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
Samaritan law. And then they all go to prison, right?
But it allowed every single person to come back.
Yes.
And
But what he was doing with that was listening to the critics, because the critics constantly were doing all these pieces about the end of Seinfeld and how these are bad people. It's a show about people who are selfish and who are bad. And he listened to that and he goes, well, then if they're bad people, there needs to be redemption. We need to punish them. And so he wrote this whole finale based on what critics were saying when he looks back and he goes, really, they're just people.
Yeah.
Comedy is selfish.
Totally.
There was no need to punish them.
I hate that. We actually kind of talked about this recently with The Office, with Mindy Kaling when she was out promoting Sex Lives of College tours, Sex Lives of College Girls season 2. She said that The Office could never work today because everyone.
I heard your take on this and I loved it.
Everyone is so toxic and like they'd all be canceled. And I was like, they're all just fucking regular ass people.
Yes.
And same thing with Seinfeld. Like they're not assholes. They have assholery moments, but
It's
like
comedy.
Very largely,
It
there's
should
regular.
be kind of teetering on that line of cancelability.
But we've also like hit this stage in the world where like everything is bigger than what it is, if that makes sense. Like I was reading a thread today about why don't we know where Wayne Industries gets their money from, because they might be the problem too.
in Batman?
It's a fucking story, dude.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what are you talking about? It's like we don't even know.
Joker's right.
It's like we don't even know where Wayne Pharmaceuticals gets their money. Like
Oh my
Wayne
God.
Pharmaceuticals could be like, and I was like, what
so
the fuck
annoying.
are you talking? You don't have to
exhausting.
make fiction nonfiction.
Yes.
Just
I
let
love
it be fiction.
bad people. I like.
Batman's never made a statement on 9/11. Like he didn't have a part to do with it, probably.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe Batman was behind 9/11. You ever think about that? Ever think about that?
It is like it's funny to me that you can get canceled for saying jokes that if you wrote like I constantly am watching Veep. It's kind of my
best.
boyfriend and
They
I
go-
call it a Golden Gate Bridge show. That as soon as you end it, you start finishing it again.
Yeah.
Like you start again. Like you're constantly painting the bridge.
Yeah.
You never
But
know
the
where
thing
to
with
Yeah,
HBO
yeah.
Max too is that it doesn't stop, so you just wake up and it's just on again.
keeps
And I'm like,
going.
the best,
go.
and the jokes are so horrific. I
Yeah.
mean, like the things they joke about everything. I mean, but if you were to say that as like a comedian, you would get canceled for any of those jokes that they say on there. But because they're characters that are awful, you get away with it. But someone had to think it.
I was gonna
and
say
write
that's
it.
a writer.
But
That's somebody, a real human
I
thought that was
love-
funny.
I have recently, like on stage, just been kind of, after you've been doing it so long, you're like, what do I want to talk about? And I'm just like, I just want to be really honest with my thoughts, because my thoughts, I can't help my thoughts.
Right.
Like I can't help some of the dark shit I think of, and I don't like it. So I think I want to cancel my dark thoughts, but the fact that there's no thought, there's no thought place. There's about to, like, they're trying to make it that, but like the things I'm thinking, like I talk about, like one of the first jokes I wrote, because I remember when I first started writing comedy, I was like, oh, that moment stands out to me as like a sick moment in my life when I was in like 6th or 7th grade, maybe 5th, John Benet Ramsey, when that happened. I remember my first reaction, because she was so pretty, was good. Like that was, and for so long I couldn't do that joke. But it's not a joke.
Another one down that I don't have to compete with.
But the thing is, the truth of that is like, it's
that's
true.
funny. That's
And
funny.
every girl knows that feeling of like a pretty girl, and you're like kind of wanting something bad to, like,
Yeah.
of that jealousy. And I think that
Relatable.
watching Bill Burr recently has inspired me. He did this one
joke about how everyone's like so into body positivity and like Lizzo, go girl, and it's like because you're not threatened by them. This whole thing. And even though that I do believe in body positivity, I love that they love their bodies. There's so much truth to that, and you can't get mad about it. And I think now I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna share like my darkest thoughts because I can't help them. I don't like that I have them.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
trying
you're
to
not like
fight
standing by, like digging your heels in by
like
a
we should
take,
kill
like,
pretty women.
Yeah, no, it's just like
I'm like
my brain's a little fucked
there's
up.
a part of my brain that gets a little happy when something tragic befalls
Dude.
a
Definitely.
beautiful girl.
7th grade, 8th grade, whatever grade, 2001. Young John Feidelberg was sitting there being like, if they get another one, we might get a week off. I was like,
We're not going back to school till
I was
October,
like, if
bro.
those motherfuckers get fucking 1600 Pennsylvania Ave, I am gonna be sitting pretty till summer, bro.
Thank you. It's like, how is it?
I've sat on that for a long time.
Thank you. Let's all
for
air
you.
something. There's been times where I think some comic had a joke about like when there's shootings and you hear the number and you go, what's that? Like, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It is
why
like
would we want? I don't want more people to die. I know that about myself, but there's a secret part of me that I don't know what it is. It's sick, but I think we have to air those things out to like. First of all, because everyone feels that way, and people always.
Well, they don't admit it. You know,
They
like that's
will
the
never
problem.
admit
The
it.
people who get upset are like they just are not being realistic with
Mm-hmm.
themselves. Where it's like sometimes you have some dark thoughts. Sometimes you laugh at things that you shouldn't laugh at, and that's okay. That's fucking part of being life.
I've been talking about like wanting to kill myself a lot on stage because it's like
Welcome
I
to
have
our
those
show.
thoughts,
Yeah.
a lot,
All the time.
and we're doing quite well.
yeah.
Like,
There's no reason I should want to kill
I'm
myself.
worried about everyone at home. Like I'm like successful. I don't have kids. I don't have a husband. Like I'm pretty free, and I have a good career and life and friends, and my family's all like. And I think about killing myself. It's like that's fucked up, but it's so free to share it because I always used to think that if I shared that, people wouldn't give me like work because they'd be like she's a
crazy or
liability.
something. Yeah.
But
Might show up
really,
tomorrow.
Imagine that. Damn it, we were gonna go to season 2, but she's dead. She killed
no,
herself.
they know it'd be good for ratings.
Yeah. They're probably hoping
They saw
every
how
day.
The Dark Knight was received.
You'd be winning awards left and right, girl.
Yes.
You gotta fake your own death to get
I'm
that
gonna be
level.
so famous posthumously. Like that's when it's really gonna hit. You gotta die young to like really
For real.
feel
For
really
real.
Be
It's like,
revered.
the clock's ticking.
I know.
I'm getting to the point where if I die, it'll just be like, well, it's a little bit early.
I know.
It's not tragedy.
It's not
you
gonna
know?
be. No, you'd still be tragic.
We
It's
talked about this
you're
before.
young.
What did we declare? We like tried to figure out what defines a tragedy.
I am what I am. Like I'm done. So I'm it's not a
You're at
tragedy
your peak,
anymore.
you're
No,
saying?
you'd
Yeah.
be tragic for sure.
Yeah.
It would be a big story. Yeah, you're young.
I don't know, but-
Yeah.
How old do you think you gotta be?
For women, it's different. I think it's 28. No,
I think Bobby
I
Brown's clear.
I think 56.
I think if you're in your
Sorry to anyone
no,
who's over
I
that
think if you're
age.
in your 50s, it'll garner maybe like like he probably had cancer or something. But like
Mike
I think
Leach.
if you-
Mike
if
Leach
you-
was 61, and people, and like I think I saw one person say he was so young.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't even say that. I think in your 40s, you got a 4 handle. People go, wait, what happened?
But then
50 is like that sucks, but people die in their 50s.
Yes, but if you're in your 50s and you have young kids, talking to men here,
Yeah.
then it's like their kids
had
were
their-
so young.
yeah,
then
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
that
Then
gives
that
you a little
becomes sad
boost of
again.
sympathy.
My dad just turned 68 on Taylor Swift's birthday, actually.
Oh wow. Happy birthday,
And
Taylor.
then he always thought he was gonna die at 67. He just always thought
That is so
And then he
sad
had like a
for you.
fake. We had like a fake scare where he like doctors were like, you either have colon cancer or leukemia, like based on these numbers, you have to come in and get like colonoscopy and everything tested out
He was
right
like,
away.
I was right.
And he was fine the whole time. He was like, I feel fine. What are you talking about? And but there was like a week where he was like waiting for shit, and he was like, I always told myself I'm dying at 67, and I think it's here now. I was like, this is dark, bro.
Well,
This
you
is-
can
this
manifest
is
that stuff,
dark.
man.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in that stuff? Like I'm not someone who is like The Secret and all those things, or like, you know, psychics. I don't like that. My friends like it, all astrology, but manifestation. If you like think something enough, it
I don't
puts it out
believe in
there.
manifestation. I believe that I'm from the future, and just a piece of me is from the future, and I have like a little part of me that just like has a little bit extra knowledge.
I'm down with this
I
idea.
believe that.
I'm down with this
I
idea.
went to physics, baby.
I get things where I'm like, there's no way I shouldn't have been able to know that, or there's no way I shouldn't have been able to make that happen.
So what? I'm
Like
down
what
with
we
this
just did,
theory
like we just did fucking Secret Santa, and I was like, before we did Secret Santa, I was like, I want this because we had like price ranges and people we had to select from, and I was like, I want this person with this price range.
He manifested it.
And I fucking picked both of them. And I was
That's
like,
just a coincidence.
well, that's what all manifestation is.
No.
But I've won two grandfather clocks.
He has won a lot of weird raffles.
I win raffles.
Two
all the
grandfather
time.
clocks
Yes.
is pretty fucking bizarre.
That is strange.
I have
One is strange. Two grandfather clocks is. Maybe you are.
That's why I won them both at a young age. That's why I've had to had such high dreams because I have to have a home one day that can fit two fucking grandfather clocks.
Where are those right now?
My parents' house.
Oh, okay.
You still have them?
Yes, I
Wow.
got them.
Do you have both your
You do need to
grandfathers?
put those on display.
I have one grandfather.
Okay.
You got more clocks
You
than
have more
grandfathers. I kind of believe in the idea of that we're reincarnated a bunch, and then
That's what.
things like intuition and things like that's a silly story, but things where it's like you get reincarnated and a little bit of your past life still sticks with you. You just don't really know that.
I think so too.
So if you're a little like, if you have good intuition or you're just naturally good at this or you know that, it's because like in your past lives you were always it's like working out, like you tear your muscles up and then when
Muscle memory.
they put the muscle, like there's more muscle the next time.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
every life you have a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more
You know what
whatever.
made me believe in an afterlife more than literally anything? I mean, I'm such a skeptic, not an atheist, but agnostic, and like just never believed in ghosts. I think I had to convince myself as a kid that ghosts weren't real because otherwise I'd be scared my entire childhood. So I just one day was like, they're not real.
Right.
But now I believe I just can't see them. I don't have that ability. Tyler Henry. Do you know that kid?
No.
He had a Netflix show where he used to do readings on E. It was like Tyler Henry,
it's
a
like-
celebrity medium.
He
Okay.
was a
and-
scam artist.
No, dude, he's not. He's this gay kid that like doesn't even want these
he's a gay
abilities.
scam artist.
Honestly, dude, the
No,
fact
he's
that
not.
he's
He
gay
totally
kind of makes me
doesn't-
like, I'm like, all right, you might have something.
Gay people can see
This
it.
is
Straights can't be psychic. Fuck
Dude, the
that.
fact that he's
Yeah,
gay
more
is like
intuitive.
far more believable. I'm like, all right.
the fact that he doesn't want to be famous. You can just tell. I can tell when people like secretly want it. This kid does not really want these powers. It drains him of energy. But he has a show on Netflix called
You're just
Afterlife.
describing a podcast. Like,
And it's-
he doesn't want to be able to do this. It makes him so tired.
It makes him so much money just talking, and he's still resentful of
Yeah,
it.
Tyler Henry admits it's a little awkward when his boyfriend's dead relatives send him messages.
Oh my!
I'm out on this guy.
I'm telling you, just watch it because I would be out too. I was out. I remember
Yeah.
seeing his stuff on E, and he was just a psychic for the celebrities, and I was like, "This is bullshit."
Bullshit.
Of course, I don't believe in psychics. This is
Yeah.
ridiculous. But this show, Afterlife, on Netflix, just watch it and tell me what you think because it's the
Okay.
only thing that has ever made me go, "There might be something there."
Yeah, yeah.
And,
have you ever gotten a psychic reading? I feel like chicks
Yeah,
do
I
that.
have, and I just
I don't like it.
believe any.
I don't
of-
believe any of it, but I'm also like I
sad
don't
for them.
want to even have it in my head. Well, maybe, you know.
I almost went to go get one because I got here an hour early accidentally, and I was like, okay, I can get a foot rub or a psychic reading, and I was like in the middle of the street going, which one? But I didn't want. I was so embarrassed to walk into a psychic place and have anyone see me.
I would have
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
TMZ.
It'd be like walking into
Nikki
Church
Glaser's
of
getting a-
Scientology.
Yeah.
Like it's just who does she think she believes it? So I went and got a foot rub, but it was I got a foot reading. But yeah, I don't believe in that stuff. Do you believe in like soulmates? That really bothers me when people go.
I don't.
I believe
in
people
that
get
at all.
lucky and find like there is a best person for you on the globe.
it's not like-
Statistically, there's someone there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is best for you if we ran all the numbers.
But it's also like a
You're not gonna-
0.0001 better than the other person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like there's
yeah, but
there are several people within striking distance of soulmate that kind of disproves the idea right there.
well, I just believe that whoever you end up with is just coincident. You might get lucky and meet, let's say, the best person on the globe for you that's living right now and available, which is already just the numbers are so low, fitting that like
they also
age appropriate.
happen to be in your vicinity.
The vicinity
Right.
thing is the thing. Whoever you end up with, the
But
luckiest
that's part of
you
being
can
a
get.
soulmate, right? It's like if you were meant, you live on the other side of the globe. It's like if we were meant to be, it would
But
be.
I think your soulmate, like the person who's like the best for you, you'll never meet them because they're
Yeah, you're
in
just never
China
gonna-
probably
yeah.
because
They don't
that's
speak
where most
English.
But
people
also, what
are.
about the
And
idea,
they,
like,
and they don't
like
have the internet.
if you're into,
can't even,
if you're,
you can't meet them online even.
let's say you like
My soulmate's in a Uyghur concentration camp right now. Like, God,
Honestly,
what
they
are the
all-
odds? What are the odds?
God, that depresses me so much. I hear statistics about like think how many Einsteins and like people who could like just great minds are just like built like sitting in a factory making little
rocks around,
iPhones or
or
married to some old man.
Can't even kill themselves because they have to put up the suicide fences for them.
Yes, yes.
We're not even letting Einstein die with dignity.
Yeah.
Shut up and make the iPhone.
It depresses me.
What's
but yeah,
Einstein's first name?
Albert.
Albert. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
We should have made you guess. And see what you
That
come
would
up
have been
with.
fun.
I was like the Office.
Ralph?
Like, don't say it.
Ralph
Don't say it.
Einstein?
Let me get a piece of that Chrysler car.
Is these Office quotes?
Yeah.
Okay.
What if your soulmate is like everything about their personality, blah 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 blah, and you're blonde, and I'm into brunettes, and then there's another person that has like exactly the same thing,
Well,
but
then
they're
they
a
wouldn't
brunette.
be your soulmate. Like they
That's what I
gotta
mean.
be
But like, so there's one blonde and one brunette. It's like that's really not even a difference. So you have two
Is
soulmates.
anyone actually into blondes and
That's
brunettes?
insane that you would not like
Like, if
a hair color, which I get it. Like
down
they
to
might
like
be,
the very
I think what you better they might be really fugly. Like the person whose soul you would connect with most is just
Yeah,
not.
no, but I'm saying like, no. I mean like the looks, like because there's so many people and because
Right.
you can connect to so many things, people get so choosy now because they almost
yeah.
can. So it's like you're
Because
my
you-
soulmate, and it's like, but you dumped me. It's like, well, I could probably go on this app and find someone who's exactly like you, and maybe even a little
That's
better.
my biggest
So that's
problem.
my soulmate.
It's just with everything in life. I don't want to buy a house because I'm like, what if I find a better place? I always want to be able to get out of it, and I just like
Yep.
I
I
feel
keep
like
my
that's
go
the-
bag on me.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why there should be marriages should be contracts with opt-outs. Every
it's
4
called
years.
divorce.
No,
Oh, like
every 4
renegotiate.
years, both people have to opt in.
Yes.
And if one opts out, then it's over.
I agree, but I feel like
There'd
Yeah,
be a lot of opting out.
I just don't. I can't understand. I mean, I don't understand when people want to get married. I'm just like,
crazy
how
town.
could you ever think that this is gonna be what you want forever? I know it's what I want right now. There's been many times I've been like, oh yeah, this is what I want now. But I've lived
Or
long
maybe
enough to
even
know
for-
that my tastes change.
Right. Or maybe you even want it like for a long time.
Yes.
But like you could like something for 20 years and you're still getting like halfway there if you're talking about regular life as pregnancy.
Yes.
So like, I mean, I guess the idea is you find the right person and you grow with them.
I'm just amazed by it. I
But
think
I
it's like
just-
so admirable to commit to something that much and to trust yourself and they a lot of times I ask my friends is like, why would you want to get married? Like I know you love this person, but like you're locked in, and they just go, I know it'll be hard, but we'll get like I kind of like committing to something. But people buy
don't like
houses too, and I don't
committing
understand
to
that. I'm just a commitment phobe across the board. with
I've never
everything.
described myself as one, but like when push comes to shove, that's exactly what I am.
Yeah.
Like I would never say I'm a commitment phobe, but when it comes down to
think
it,
it
But
reminds-
I think that term is like you're normal.
yeah.
like to lock everything else.
logical.
Yes, logical.
We live too long now.
Everything else in like you in your life, you want to like you get to work multiple jobs and you get to live in multiple places. It's not like you have to do just this one thing once you make one decision at the beginning of your life.
Yes.
And it's very weird that we make like what's already the hardest thing, relationships,
Yes.
also that much harder. And we make it financial. You have to tie in all your finances to it. And you make it forever. And you make it hard to get out of. And
When
it's
people
like
get married in their
setting up for
20s, I just
disaster.
go, what are you doing? This is
my God.
Like it
If
reminds me
it
of that
wasn't
super
for
sweet
a
16.
biological clock, I think people would be getting
That's
pushed
the
back
thing.
to like 50.
That's the wild thing. I'm coming up to that age where it's like I gotta freeze my eggs like by tomorrow for it to eat. Like literally, I'm 38 and a half, and it's like I've never thought of my life in terms of half birthdays.
Right.
But
Yeah.
since my fertility has become an issue, I don't even want kids. I don't think I want kids. But it's like
But you
my-
might-
all my friends-
you can't commit to not having kids.
Right,
Exactly.
I know. You really
I
might.
change my mind.
You
And
really
so
might. So leave that door
I
open.
really believe I would just adopt because I don't really care about being pregnant. I don't care about like I think
Maybe
Dude,
you
I
will.
wanna know why I
mean,
couldn't
it's just
adopt?
like-
Maybe I will.
You can just go in circles with this shit. It's
Yes.
scary.
I could never adopt because I couldn't pick. I'd be like,
No, they
Yeah,
pick
they
for
pick
you.
for you. Yeah.
oh, they just pick.
Yeah,
well,
you
I
don't
know
get
if-
to
Unless
go,
you're
"Nah,
really
that's a-"
rich.
I wouldn't know. You don't get to pick like I want a kid from Africa.
I
kind of
think
deal?
you can pick.
You can't do like I want a kid from Africa or a kid from fucking.
Oh, I think if you pick a kid from Africa, they're like, here you like.
yeah, but like that's
I
what
don't know.
I would.
Yeah,
I would be
maybe.
like, what if I like? What
I
if
think
I
you put
picked
in
like?
preferences probably, and they're like, we'll do our best.
See, like I couldn't fill out my preferences. I'd be like, should I get a black kid? Like, and then,
Right.
and then I'd be like, but then people are gonna look down on me.
That's a good thought we were just talking about. Like, if this is even how it works, I don't know, but it'd be like
If people
white
would be accepting-
boy, you're like,
or-
oh, that feels
I'd
racist.
be like, oh, people, oh, he's he's such a fucking tryhard. He like adopted a kid from Africa.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll.
How about a Puerto Rican right in the middle?
A white
so
kid.
insecure.
Oh yeah.
Me?
Yeah, like wondering what people will think.
That's
about
why I don't
your
commit
choice.
to shit. Because then once I commit to things, people get to judge those
Yes.
things. Not
But you
on my
know, it's
watch.
nice. Like, I hate to get on this whole thing. It's nice to be a man, but it really is. I would like that. I would like a little bit more time to figure it out. And it
it's the
sucks.
best.
I realize as a woman, it's the first thing that gets taken from you. Like as you get older. Like I think the last thing that was taken from me was maybe kids menus. Like you grow up and you go, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But there's really nothing else that gets taken from you until your fertility. And not only is it like the opportunity to
The
have
fact
kids,
that it goes
which-
from no more chicken fingers and grilled cheese
To no more-
children.
Yes.
Crazy. Yeah.
But it's not even
The
about
kid menu finally
kids.
gone forever.
Yeah, it's
at
just
that
about
point.
the
About
timing, like
yeah,
the
you can have a
ability
kid
to.
and you can eat off their chicken.
Yeah.
That's how you get it back.
Yeah. That's the second time they take it from
Well,
you.
you know what I've thought about that recently is every time if I order food from somewhere, and I order some food for my kids, they don't. You could just order off the fucking kids
You can
menu.
just pretend like
yeah.
you're getting takeout for
your
kids.
kids.
Yes.
And then no one's ever grilled you on it. They just do it.
Yeah.
But when I don't have my kids with me, I'm like, I can't do that. It's like, yes, you fucking can.
That's
That's
a good.
in,
Well, you're an
um,
honest person then, I
Was it
guess.
Afterlife? The Ricky
Oh,
Gervais
yes,
show?
yes.
When he's with a kid. He's trying to get a kids menu thing. And they won't give it to him. He's like, fine, he'll have 2 sets of chicken fingers. Then.
Yes.
And they're like, you're going to eat those. He's like, no, I'm not.
But fertility
the
is not
fertility's
even
fucked.
about like having kids because that's what that on paper that's what it's about. But it's like even if you are like trying to like just even being fertile equals like men want to fuck you and then they give you things. Like if you are no one that's what it's about. I don't care about losing the opportunity to have kids. I think that I will always have like at least there's adoption. At least there's I can be an aunt or whatever. But losing the subconscious, like when guys look at you and go, I could pass on my seed through her body. When you lose that, you lose something, and men never lose that because you guys your sperm gets slower and stupider, and
The
it
chances
can be
go
harder,
down, but you could
for
do
sure,
it at
but
like
you can still
70,
do it.
you know,
Yeah,
you
you
really,
can
like,
still
Yeah,
have
Mick
that value
just
to
popped
us.
one out.
Right, Mick's like
Mick's
80.
like 80.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer Garner is pregnant with twins, and she's
I
48.
mean, I
and
do think
that's
it's
weird.
like I think it's like everything else. Your life expectancy gets longer, and probably fertility gets pushed back, and you have more science and all that shit. But
I don't have a kid at 12 anymore.
yeah,
nice.
yeah, right. I mean, really, when you think about it, like you start your period. That's when you're like. Back in the day, that's when you started having kids.
Yeah,
You're
I
13, like you're
know.
good to go. Like let's do it. It's like
know.
what?
But it's
But
like-
if somehow they unlock that, I think like the whole system falls apart. To be
Oh, yeah.
honest, it's
I
like
mean, what-
nobody I think is getting married. Nobody,
Because
or
what
at
is
least
hot
like a way
is
later.
what is fertile, like in terms of women. Like hotness is fertility.
Do you think
like,
that
it
is,
really
is subconscious though? I mean, I have
Yeah.
never once been like that girl looks fertile to me. But you
it's
think that
subconscious
I'm
because like
Look at
anything.
those childbearing hips.
I mean,
Yeah,
look at Camille
yeah.
Kostick. That is her breasts can definitely feed a baby. Like in your head,
But
you're
you
like, she'll
think
keep
that?
my
But I'm
baby
not
alive.
thinking that. But you
But
think I'm
no,
thinking that?
It's subconscious. Like
Yeah.
the things you're like rosy cheeks equal like I'm like all the things that happen in your body naturally when you're ovulating. When you're like I'm ready to have a baby are the things that women put on like makeup, like bigger eyes, like your eyes get bigger, your lips get like more vaginal looking, like you get rosier
Really?
cheeks. All these things
Yeah,
are like
fuck that pussy mouth.
to send signal. It's like baboons presenting. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can have
yeah,
a baby
yeah.
right now. Like
Yeah.
that's what all those things that we do to look
And what are
hotter.
guys doing?
Wide hips, skinnier waist, like all these things. And I think guys, but we just know you always are.
Yeah, it's like, I know that dick's in there.
Yeah.
I know that guy's
Strength,
full of cum. Let's
money, like things that it's about like can he protect my child and me? Like that's what women are attracted to subconsciously, and men are like, can she have a healthy baby and feed it through like until it can feed
Yeah.
itself? And that's kind of what.
So we're both just so sexist at our
Yeah.
core.
Yeah, we
like,
can't help it.
Just,
It's-
just incredibly
that's
misogynistic.
another
like-
thing. It's like
like,
whatever.
what are those milkers doing?
I don't get mad when guys are attracted to what they're attracted to. Where you're just like, oh, you don't like that girl because she's a little overweight. It's like he can't help it.
That's the one thing I don't think
So
people
he has to
or
lie to
girls
you?
realize. It's like I love hearing these stories. Like recently, I've seen a couple news stories that are women who transitioned to male who got like testosterone treatments,
Yeah.
and now have like testosterone coursing through their veins, and they were like, "I'm so sorry." I did not know what this can do to you. Like, this is fucking crazy. And I didn't know you were walking around, like, thinking this all the time. And it's like, like, I don't know. I thought I was really into you. And then we had sex, and now I'm not. Yeah. And that's fucked up.
It
but
sucks.
It's also just what happened.
I used to be so mad at
24 hours ago, I
about
would have
it.
told you I fucking love you. And
That's
we'll
why you don't
get married one
sleep
day.
with them until they love you, like, for something more than just sexually. Like, that's the key that
Yeah, but they'll
unlocks
also
it.
kick you to the curb if you don't fuck them. So
No, they
it's
want-
that
if
perfect
they-
in between.
If
No, you're
you
right.
if you don't
Well, you got to blow them a little bit.
yeah, you gotta blow them and stuff, and you gotta. But if you don't fuck them until you can like know like this guy's not gonna abandon me, which you never really know, but it's usually like after like a commitment, then you can kind of assure yourself of that. But I don't get mad when my boyfriend like. Today he's on a radio show and I was listening to his show yesterday and he was just talking about like he kind
You got
of
a famous boyfriend?
No, he's on a radio show in St. Louis. Not famous, but he's on the most popular radio show in St. Louis,
Hell
the Courtney
yeah.
Show.
Let's go.
And he's great on it, but he was talking about that. You remember that the World Cup, the Iranian, like that really hot girl.
Do I remember? I think about it every day.
Yeah. He mentioned something about her, and I was like, they were just reading tweets that they liked, and it was some tweet about her, like we'll miss her, and I could tell that he was like turned on by her, and he didn't say it, but he was like I could just tell, like he sympathized with the tweet, and I was just like. And it made me like so jealous because she looks nothing like me.
Yeah.
And I could tell that he like was definitely probably like zoomed in on a picture of her at one point. But man, it made me like so horny for him. I was just like, I miss you so much because I was like, it's a threat.
Fuck
to
that
me.
Iranian girl right out of your head.
Yeah, like I don't know. I like when I see
but you've always
him
kind of
being-
been like that, right?
Yes.
You like you.
But it's like the threat. Like I'm gonna lose him to that, so I gotta like, oh yes. And it makes me. I always just get mad when women are like, he's attracted to women. I saw him looking at a girl. It's like if your boyfriend or husband stops being attracted to other women. He's
gay.
he's dying.
Yeah, right.
His body's not working.
Right,
his
right.
body is not functioning properly, and you should be. And he's not. Then it means he's not attracted to you, too,
Right, I
bitch.
was gonna
Like
say.
no matter what he says.
Right.
Like
If he's not
can't
attracted to
stop
that
that
Iranian chick, he's not attracted to you either,
Something
all
wrong.
right?
But he doesn't want to marry her necessarily. He doesn't want to like have kids with her. Like it's fine.
Bang her behind a dumpster.
But
real
it
quick.
does make.
Hey,
I think
just
it
to fuck
makes
her
it
in
so much
Qatar
hotter.
and maybe go to jail for it. I don't know. He wants to risk life and limb to fuck that girl in a third world country. That's what he wants. But correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you
Yeah, we talked about this before. I think.
like dated guys where like you like them
Yeah.
talking about other girls and
Yeah,
shit like that.
I like that. Like
Almost
with
like
my
an open
boyfriend, like
relationship.
we've been together so long that and he's so loyal and like just he would marry me. Like I'm always like, me? Really? Forever? And he's always just
There's
like,
that self-esteem.
I just am like it makes me feel like you're not a functioning man then
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
don't want to fuck other people like
Yeah.
and I would be open to
You're not cheating on
talking
me.
about
I don't
that.
respect you as a man.
Not cheat on me, but like go to a strip club, have some fun, like do some stuff. But
Do some stuff.
like I don't mind. I've always said this, and but I would not care if my boyfriend went on a trip with his friends and like got a blowjob from a girl at like a bar that he met there. Like I just wouldn't. I wouldn't care as long as it doesn't give me a disease or something, or doesn't. I don't want him to go down on her because he doesn't even do that to me that often. So that would seem like.
Dude, but also
Why
that's
you
an
giving her the full
impossible
treatment?
What you're
Don't
offering is
watch
like an
White
impossible
Lotus
task.
season 2 finale with her, but here's my point.
outside of college bars, like I don't think people just. I mean,
I
and
know.
maybe I'm not hanging out in the right bars. I don't know anyone I'm 34
I'm
now.
thinking Nashville.
you're at the bar, you mean?
Who's like just
bachelor
gone,
party.
gotten their dick sucked at a bar. and that
But
was
bachelor
it.
party,
at like a bachelor
like-
party, you take the girl back to like the Airbnb
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
She blows
Like,
you and then she's gone.
Because I've never heard of that happening, of a guy meeting that has a girlfriend or a wife that they love, meeting a girl, getting a blowjob, and then at the
Going
end of
with
it
her.
going, I'm gonna leave
Yeah,
my wife for you.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you could give me one example of that happening, I understand emotional connections can happen and that can lead your guy astray.
Yeah.
But that means there's something already lacking in your relationship. They're not getting enough. Not that you did anything wrong. They could, have changed their mind. But just a sexual encounter doesn't bother me. And it just, I don't know. I can't explain it. It
Like
just
a true
turns me on.
one-off. Yeah, well, I
and
mean,
it makes
it's-
him a random girl just wanted to suck your dick. She doesn't even know you. She doesn't
Damn,
know how
I got
funny you
that.
are and how talented you are. She just saw you and went like, that is like, then you must be a hot guy.
Yeah, like
then,
I got the pick of the litter. sort
yeah,
of
it makes
thing,
me
yeah.
like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, bitch. Like, there was a girl that my boyfriend like kissed recently at a thing, and
and she didn't know that he had a girlfriend. He knew that the rules of like, I don't care what you do, like have some fun and like tell me about it. Like it was kind of like our thing, and he was gone. He was like in Europe, and so he made out with her, I think, and maybe I don't know what else really exactly. I just didn't care at all. I like had just guest hosted Jimmy Kimmel. And I'm like, babe, let me tell you about Kimmel. He's like, let me tell you about this chick.
I think that's also.
I think mine's bigger.
I think that's why this works for you. Is you got a lot going for you in your life that is
No,
awesome.
it's not
and
that.
I really think
No, it's not.
really think if you were just like a regular ass chick and your boyfriend was because
No.
unfortunately for a lot of people, their relationships are defining how happy they are in their lives entirely.
I get that.
And if your boyfriend's like kissing some chick
I
and you
will
don't
say
have
that
you don't
you're
have
right.
Kimmel the next night.
No, it's not about Kimmel. It's not about my
But it's
fame
having
level.
something.
It's about like I know how good I am in bed. I know how good of a girlfriend I am. I know how fun I am. Like take away my fame.
not
My
threatened.
boyfriend is not with me because I'm famous. He
Right.
doesn't give a shit. It really
Right.
is not about that.
It's the head. It's
about like all the like I am confident in all those things that if there's no girl that he's gonna meet in one night that's gonna
Sure.
take him away from that.
Sure.
But what I didn't like necessarily about it is that she didn't know he had a girlfriend. Like they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't understand that. That's part of it for me. Is like tell her that you have a girlfriend because I want her to know like I'm allowing this.
Yeah,
have
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
But you don't get
I
it.
got a
Like
cool
Queen
ass
Queen
girlfriend.
bitch
Yeah.
is saying it's okay.
And I also don't want her to go, oh my God, I love him, and like
Stalk
think of
him
and like
fucking,
because I had made out with guys before and been like, he is the one. Like
Yeah.
I met this guy at a concert. Like it was fate, and I could tell that she probably felt that way because it sounded like a hot interaction. I was like, oh, so that's kind of like the parameters. Just I want her to know.
Has there ever been any issue because you can keep up with people now on Instagram and follow?
No,
and
he's like not
none of
even
that?
on his
Yeah.
Instagram. I'm
'Cause
always like,
that's
check
also
your
part of the
DMs.
problem,
Have
like-
girls tried to like fuck you in them? Like I'm always like, I want to know. And so I'm like, and I would be like, good job, girl. Like please try to fuck my boyfriend. I would love it.
I've had that before in relationships where like we got in fights and it's like, what if you came home and I was like fucking somebody, and I was like,
I whip it out.
I don't think I care actually. I like that's on you for bringing that up because I actually until you brought it up I never thought about it, and now that I'm really thinking about it, I don't think I care, which means I think it's time for us to sit down.
Yeah,
and we have to have
an honest
Yeah.
we have to have a different conversation right
but
now.
Would
it
you
means
watch your
something-
boyfriend fuck somebody else?
No, because I feel like I'd have to like do something, and like I would watch from like a closet or something. Like she doesn't.
a creep.
like
I would just masturbate in the dark.
Because I feel like then I'd have to like go down on her or something. Somehow I'd be incorporated, and I
watch,
just want to. I just want to hear about it later.
Would you watch your boyfriend sex like a sex video?
100%. Like I would love. I mean, I've seen things that when we weren't together, he's like shown me pictures and stuff that
You
were,
guys
like,
are crazy.
consenting. Like the
Yeah.
girl consent, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen stuff, and it goes both ways. Like when I've sent him pictures, and he's like, I would never show anyone. I'm like, come on, show some people. Like this is the
best I've
This
ever
is-
Show it to
this is
everybody.
don't
grade
tell them
A
I want to
beef
see
right
it, but
here.
like be a little bit of a like one of those guys at like I don't know Buffalo Wild Wings while you're watching the game, just be like just like quickly. I just feel like I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind your friends kind of knowing what you're working
I have
with
a
without
couple guy friends
know.
who are just married with kids and living that very cookie cutter suburban life, whatever. And there's a couple guys who are still single, and they are so thirsty for stories, pictures, fucking anything, And then what? And then what? And then she went, what did she do? And it's
Yes.
like, whoa.
I love that stuff too. I think I can't. There's been times in my relationship where it's like really like vanilla, and we're not. This is like a rare thing that ever happens. We're pretty like
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just a normal couple. But there are times where like you just want to like you just I always say it's not a two-way street. Like I don't get to just go off and do stuff, and he's not turned on by that because that's just not his preference.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a preference, he doesn't, and I don't really want to. I mean, this is something I like beg him to do when he's like gone. I'm like, please.
Was he like, this is a trap in the beginning?
I think a little bit, but this was like maybe 8 years ago when it first started.
yeah.
I didn't even know it was a thing that I liked, but it was always just like, and I've talked about this endlessly, so I'm sorry to any listeners who like, shut up about this. This is the only interesting thing you have to offer. But at the beginning of our relationship, I just found that like for foreplay, I was always like, tell me about a time you hooked up with someone.
I
like,
get
I
that,
love
though.
that stuff.
Yeah, you get that. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't ever tell me that she even held the guy's
Yeah,
hand.
he doesn't want to know.
I don't
either.
want to
Yeah.
hear we're just like sitting on the couch like eating dinner, and you're bringing up.
No,
other
it has to be
boyfriend- in the moment. It's basically like, if my dick is hard, you can tell me anything.
Yes, yes.
And then afterwards, it's like
That's what I found.
erase that from the brain, and that's
Men are
it.
like that. Like, I think that it's just very like, yeah, if your dick is hard, like, you can get away with a lot more stuff. And things come up that I go, oh, I never knew you would even be into this.
Yeah.
And he like, sometimes I'll be like, we'll be watching a show and I'll be like, I'll kind of hint at who I think is hot by being like, he kind of looks like you. Like, I'll like, it's just, and then like suddenly that guy's name will come up, you know, like in bed.
you
and I'm like,
planted a seed
you didn't
and-
even, I didn't have to tell you to do that. And you just like put him in bed with us. Like, you're so good at mind reading. So it's been, he's just like, great. He's very good about that. But I do understand, like, it's not, we don't, that's the hardest thing in relationships is that, and I think just being, we're people who like the spotlight. We're selfish, you know. Like we think like, why doesn't everyone think like us? Like it's just hard.
That I think a lot.
I just
I don't know about loving
Yeah.
the spotlight and all that, but I'm always like, how do you not agree with me on this topic?
You know
and
what's
not
helped
even
me?
relationships, like everybody. I'm like, I'm pretty sure my answer to everything is logical.
Yes.
And why don't you guys think like me?
Yes. Well, whenever I get a good thing that I've done in my, like when I'm fighting with my boyfriend, we're both just like not budging, and I'm like, how can you not see what I'm saying? And like, I'm so mad at him. I just stop for a second and I go, the one thing we have in common is that we both feel like my rage for him right now. I know he feels that for me too. So I go like, oh, imagine how mad he is at you. Think about what you need from him and just give him what you wish he would give you. And just, even if it's not true, you know, like, you know what? I was like shitty back then. Even like I just
Cave a little bit.
Just realize that even though the person is seeing not exactly like you're seeing the opposite side of things, you're actually have a lot in common. You both fucking hate each other the same amount, and that's something you can empathize with and go,
equal
"Oh
but
my
opposite."
god,
Yeah.
he hates me just as much as I hate him right now." Like
He's
that would
thinking about
suck.
killing me in my sleep tonight.
Yeah, you start to
just
feel
the same
sorry
way.
and go, wow, you're kind of a cunt. And like you start to like see his side of it and go, and just think of yourself as like and that has helped me of just like, because one person has to fucking give in eventually.
Always.
And then usually the other person gives in, and it's like, that's the hardest thing is one person, when they know they're right, trying to find something that you can be like, you know what, this was wrong that I did. I shouldn't have said this. And then it can like build towards something. But I think I didn't learn that until just recently.
I'm very good at submitting when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
like if like
You
you
What
talk
about when you're not?
MMA guys who are like I'll never tap. I'll fuck it. The second you get around my throat, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Fair, you got fair, you got me.
When
I know I'm right.
Yes,
but that's what
it's
I'm
the
talking
same
about.
passion.
I'll
yeah,
never
like,
I'll never
never
stop.
give
just
it.
I'll never.
I
Yeah.
know, but just try, because like there is always something. You can always find something that you did wrong.
Doesn't matter what I can find. I'm right.
I know, but it's gonna end up in a breakup unless you can get there. Like,
No, but you
it's-
know what?
But Nikki, I don't think you're getting it.
I'm
right.
That's a good point. I always forget, and you're not gonna acquiesce on this. I know, so I'll just sleep on the couch
He's
tonight, I guess.
The argument is about what the argument's about.
Ugh,
I'm right.
yes, always.
No,
It's-
but not always. Sometimes I'm wrong.
Oh, no,
but if I'm right,
I'm right.
I fucking love being wrong. Don't you love when you like realize?
wrong?
Yeah, like when I fucked up and I am like, I've misbehaved, I've reacted in a way that's like embarrassing, and you know, right when you do it, do you ever do something and like in the moment you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to apologize for that? Like
Oh.
you snap or something, like you just do something ridiculous, and then I love when I finally reach that place where I can't apologize, because it's just no one expects it, because no one fucking apologizes anymore.
Yes.
A sincere apology where you don't have I just gotta be clear, apologies do not have buts. There's
Yeah.
I'm sorry I did this, but if you're gonna give an apology to your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend, just take the butt out. Just only make it about what you did wrong, even though they had so much of a part to play, right?
Right.
Wait for them to come back with their own, and because once you model what it is to apologize, they'll give it back. No one just but I do hate when you apologize
go,
and
"Okay,
a person
thanks."
just keeps going like,
Yeah.
and then you did that, and you go, I
I'm
covered that, I did
conceding
that
here,
too,
motherfucker.
I
You-
agree with you. Yeah, that was wrong. And the way, and you just go, okay, when are they going to get to their side of it? But I love apologizing.
I love apologizing, but I don't like when someone apologizes to me sometimes, because I'm like, you didn't let me get my pound of flesh yet.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
and that's why I
You and your
apologize so
maturity.
fast, because I'm like sorry. That was I'm an idiot. That was my fault. And then it's
Right.
like I take the rug out from under you. You don't even get to be mad.
Yes, that's what apologizing is. Like, if you reach a point where and don't apologize if you're not sorry. Like, you really are embarrassed, and you can find a way to be like, And like the best apology is you apologize for the behavior. Write this down for guys who want, or girls who want to apologize to their guys. You apologize for the behavior. You say what you should have done instead. You say what you're ashamed of what you did, and then you say what you're gonna do in the future when the same thing comes up.
That sounds terrible.
That's a lot.
And all you have to say is, "I'm working on this. I'm working on having
There it
better
is.
That's
reactions."
the one. That's really the
I'm
one.
a big look. I've been working on it. You know.
If someone says, "What are you working on?"
reality-
Say, "I'm looking into maybe starting to meditate." That's an easy answer, and all you have to do is just look at a fucking post from Lewis Howes about meditation, and that's you're
And
lucky.
you did your job.
You don't do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
You just watch a full clip
Right.
about
I'm a
TikTok
big.
about meditation.
I've been working on it, guy. I've been working
You
on it.
just got to show what you're gonna do next time.
and that's
such
like
a lie.
And that's like, and by working on it, I mean I have Excel open, but I'm really just fucking around on my phone.
I know.
Like,
you
sure,
gotta
the work's
work
in
on it.
front of me, but
That's the biggest thing. If you're with someone and they're not like they feel like they're fully cooked, like I'm done, I like who I am, and I don't need to change. Because even if I want a person to like who they are, but if you think you're done, like growing and learning, and that you are infallible,
Well,
you're
just like
Kanye.
also boring too. Yeah.
You're not. You're
you're
a
crazy, yeah.
sociopath.
Yeah.
Like that. If you think that you're better than, I mean,
Everybody.
therapy's not for everyone, and I know that so many people are just like it's bullshit. But they're reading a book about self care. I don't know, just like these guys, mostly
listen
men.
to a Jordan Peterson podcast.
Right. Even honestly, there's something somewhere in there that is at least they're attempting something, and maybe they'll be steered in another direction. But like, I just don't understand people that were like, I'm perfect. And
I
I'm
don't
done.
understand people who could listen to Jordan Peterson and like radically change their life.
I don't
people-
understand.
I've never
I've,
been able
I've
to
never
listen
listened
to
to him. I've
him.
just looked at him though, and I hate the way he dresses, so I can't do it.
He has
Imagine-
some quips that I kind of go, oh, that's right, and then
Well,
but
he's,
I've heard
he's a
he's
very
also
smart dude, and
Sam
he's very
Harris is the one-
articulate, and like he's a good like arguer. So you get you're like, if you're not good at debating and thinking through all this shit, you like, I can't out argue you, but it's also
Yeah.
like, but I also just know you're a fucking dick,
Yeah.
So
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
anything about. I just know that's just a name. A buzzword
I
name
mean,
I know.
It started out like I'm speaking for like the insecure male, like quiet male who is like us who
Yeah.
needs like the Me Too movement kind of, but he's a
Okay.
dickhead about it, So it's like, and then he became like famous in his own right. So now he's just a
What's something you two like wish you could improve about yourselves? Like if you could like snap your
heavens.
finger and be like, I wish I could like lift this character flaw. Like I do this when I.
Does depression count?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah?
yeah.
I'd love to get rid of that.
Like, what does your depression look
depression
like?
does not count. We all want to lift our depression.
Yeah, but
This
like,
is about saying something about yourself that you know
I'd
is
be so
bad.
much better
Well,
if
that's
I
why I'm
wasn't
trying to
depressed.
get to the next
I'd be,
thing.
I'd be so much better.
well, okay.
I'd be
well,
so
let's-
much happier.
Like I'd be a better person. I'd be better.
Right,
Like, I'd
but what's
be,
your depression look like when you get depressed? What does it look like, and how often does it?
It's
flare up?
24/7.
Chronic?
pretty often. And it's disheveled and messy, and I don't
Yeah.
have room for anything else other than my selfishness.
Right. But do
Like
you?
we were talking about this
You
recently.
know what's
with,
funny?
like,
You're really
we
not
have-
self. I mean,
You're not-
You're not selfish.
But it is like I can
Big,
only
big
do
picture is probably like you live like your life the way you want to do it, but like individual relationships and stuff, you're like the furthest thing from selfish.
To an extent, but like every day I wake up and like my only concern is getting through that day, and like I don't really
getting
like,
through meaning like just getting out of bed like you're so
Yeah.
Like
so
not ending up on the pavement.
just
Right.
like make it through, do what you need to do, make it through,
Yes.
and then you can come back home and be back in bed.
Yeah, I
And
know.
Back
So,
in
like-
bed is probably a sign of depression, but I also think everything
100%.
else you just described is kind of adulthood.
Yeah.
Sometimes the lines between depression and adulthood get blurred. There's like depression, and then when you talk about like some of that middle ground, a lot of times it's like this is also just life, man.
Yeah, but
like life
I
kind of
get
gets
that.
shitty, dude.
But no,
See, but
I don't know.
I have friends
think
who are
it
like
does.
I
I
have friends
do.
who are like I don't like. I have friends who like I've had like talks with and stuff like that, and they're like, dude, I want to help you however I can, but like I genuinely don't understand what you're talking about.
They
Yeah.
don't. I
Like-
don't think you're. I think this is different than adulthood because there are days
think you have a
where
brain problem.
it is. You, no, I think
Chemically.
you
I
have.
think it's a
Yeah,
chemical
for sure.
thing.
You need to be on
you
medication because
you
it's
yourself have been like,
Are you
I,
on meds?
No,
Besides,
I have been before. I'm not right now.
like it's. I'm gonna talk to you after the show about what has helped me because I was on different meds for so long and I was always caffeine. Really was like the only thing that would give me like little boosts.
See, I don't
here
even
and
do
there.
that because that gives me too bad anxiety. I
yeah.
get like hot,
yeah,
sweaty,
well, that's
and
why I
shaky
quit it
and-
eventually. But that was the only thing that would kind of get me out of bed enough to be like, okay, today might be good, and then also just packing your schedule so you don't have time to think.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
when I arrived here an hour early, I was just like,
What do? I wake up
an
in the middle
hour
of the
where I
night.
have nothing to do. Like that's all it looks. All I talk about is like I never have free time, but give me that, and I don't
want
know
it.
what the fuck
I
to do
wake
with
up
it.
in the middle of the night and I'm like, no.
Yes.
Because it's just
Yeah,
And
if I
God
get up
for
at 5 a.m.,
phones.
I'm like, please go back to bed, please go back to bed, please go back to bed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
phones are what caused this. But
I
at the
know.
same time, I go, what did people do in the middle of the night without phones? They just stared at the ceiling.
And thought.
Yeah.
And like, oh.
But meditation
I'm surprised
helps.
like everybody didn't
But
kill
here's the deal.
themselves.
I
heard
meditate.
that.
I meditate accidentally when I'm not.
That's not meditation then.
But like I'll zone out like you.
He's
would
also
go,
like
yeah.
a dog kind of. He's
You
like
should
a
do
golden retriever. He's
TM.
just
Just go learn how to do TM.
What's
Go
that?
take a course. It's
that?
transcendental meditation. You got to pay. It's like $1,500 for the course. You go take it, and it's something
That
you,
sounds like highway robbery.
They won't ever come after you for money for the rest of the time. You can always
Okay.
be a part of the transcend. I swear to God, and that there are apps too that you can
Yeah,
download.
yeah,
But
yeah.
this actually, you invest money, so you kind of go, okay, I got to do it.
Right.
And it really is something I learned in like 2014 or something, and it's something I've like been able to pull upon whenever I'm having one of those bad days. I was just talking to Jerry Seinfeld about it. He was the one actually got me back into it. I learned in 2014. I was literally going to check myself into a place to not kill myself in 2018, and everything was going great in my life. I was like,
yeah, like 18's pretty late. Like you were cooking by then.
I was cooking, and I was like not even having my regular suicidal thoughts. Like I was seeing train tracks and being like, looks like a good place to take a nap. Like I was like really starting to think really weird ways where I was like, I would never kill myself that way. But those were starting to look good, like windows and stuff. And so I just stumbled upon a clip that was Howard Stern talking to Jerry Seinfeld on Comedians in Cars, but it was a cut clip. It was like one that's like an extra online. And Howard Stern was talking about his mom having like terrible depression, couldn't get out of bed for a really long time, and then in the 60s, and she went and got trained in transcendental meditation and never was depressed again, and he got his mom back. And Jerry Seinfeld was talking about it and said he's been doing it since his 20s, I think. And you're supposed to do it twice a day, and he was only doing it once a day. And he was like, I learned about twice a day after Seinfeld. If I would have had twice a day during Seinfeld, it would have been a better show. My life would have been better. It's like, it's energizing. It's like a nap in the middle of the day. It really,
But you got to buy into
How
all
long
this,
does it
right?
take?
there's not much buying into because it's so fucking easy. I mean, they really, it's 20 minutes twice a day, but really once a day, even if you can do 10 minutes or 8 minutes, or like sometimes I just on the cab, I'll just like do it for like 4 minutes, like on the way somewhere. And it's,
Yeah, because 20 minutes is long.
the whole
bro.
idea of meditation being like no thoughts, that's what stresses people out. They go, but
that's
I
what
have
I get. I
anxiety.
get no thoughts.
Yeah, that's how you
I
do.
can.
He's a
I can
blank
That's what I mean.
dog.
Like,
It's
Well,
just
then this is
I can just sit
perfect
there
for
and
you.
stare, and I'm like, I'm okay.
It's all you do is you learn how to do it. But
You are a
if you learn about
vapid
the-
hole.
There's science around it. Yeah, that's interesting that you can have no thoughts because usually people with anxiety or depression are like,
He gets
the
them all
last
out
thing
on
I want
this,
to do is sit and
then-
think about nothing.
I'm very good at that. Where it is. It
I
actually
think
there's
it will be great for you.
there's like a line. Actually, it's in Welcome to Chippendales, where like Kumail's in a fight with his wife, and she's like, "You gotta tell me what you're thinking." He's like, you give me credit for far more thoughts than I actually have.
Yeah.
Like,
That's crazy.
Not a lot going on up here, bro.
And also the book Free Will by Sam Harris. Very short read. And it makes you realize that your thoughts, you don't control them. You have no control over them. So you stop. I think a lot of depression is you have a thought and then you're like, I'm such a piece of shit for that thought, or I'm a piece of shit for the way I look. And like you learn that there really is no free will. You have no control over any of it. Thoughts just appear. You might think like, no, if I make go, red or blue, and you go blue, you go, I chose blue. What made you choose blue? It
your
just showed up
brain
in your
just-
head.
Yeah,
You just,
right.
oh, because blue's my favorite color. Why is it your favorite color? Because I like the water. Why do you like the water? Whatever. You don't choose your brain. You don't choose the circumstance you were born in. When you read this book, you learn that like nothing that has happened to you, good or bad, when people are like, I pulled myself up from my bootstraps. You're fucking lazy. Get out there and work. Well, you were born with a brain that is good at being,
doing that,
having
yeah.
tenacity. And you were born with the circumstances. Well, I wasn't born with a cent in my pocket. Well, you were born in a country where you were free enough to be an entrepreneur. Like all these people that act like they're self-made. No one's self-made.
No one's
You didn't
self-made.
choose
I
your
agree
brain.
with
You
that.
didn't choose your
Yeah.
parents. You didn't choose your circumstance, whether it's good or bad. So no one is responsible for anything. And that relieves you of like, some of the, like, I think my depression at least is always like, you're fundamentally bad and you're like choose to be bad and it's your fault. And I think it frees you of that. The other thing I've been doing, and I talked to Neil Brennan's into all this self.
Yeah.
You guys know him, right? You're
Yeah.
friends with him. he's done like every fucking psychedelic, but which I'm gonna start getting into, and I'll be really obnoxious then.
Oh God. Oh no.
Mantras, dude. Like I have been doing this one because I was like really depressed a couple weeks ago, and there's this woman on YouTube named Louise Hay, and if you just type in Louise Hay, Louise Hay, she's like this dead woman now, but she just does these mantras that you put on in your sleep.
Dead woman.
And but she's like talking to you from the grave, and she teaches you mantras. And this mantra I have now is I approve of myself, and I literally say it whenever I'm like, I look in the mirror, I'm like, ugh, gross. I'm just like, I approve of myself. I approve of myself. And I don't even believe it, and I'm just saying it, and I say it thousands of times a day. Like just walking out, I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. Like
see, that sounds
and
terrible.
it fucking works.
My therapist had me try doing that and like do like the like. You're great. You deserve great things in the mirror, and I was like, "This is
no.
fucking
That's
ridiculous."
embarrassing.
Like,
just pick one sentence that means fucking. I approve of myself is simple. That's all, and you don't even have to believe it. Just,
I
it
know
works,
this isn't.
I swear.
This is not.
I don't believe in
like,
any
the
of this stuff.
Real answer, but like I think sometimes you gotta like trick yourself into being happy. Like I'm a little
this
more.
This is all that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
trick.
not like a doctor, so I don't know exactly how to articulate it, and I'm definitely more on the pessimistic side. But it's like life. When you get older, there's just more shit. People die, you get sick, bad things happen, and you have more on your plate. And you just have to be like...
Gratitude is a trick.
I
have
okay,
arms.
I know.
Well,
it's like
be happy about that.
the littlest crumb. And just be like, no. My life is happy. I am decent. It is good. And then you just
on
like
Instagram,
start to fucking think about
I
it.
follow, like, if you go to my Explore page, it is literally all disfigured people. Like, people that, like, are just like, like, I love myself. And they just, like, have, like, their burn victims and stuff. And like have no arms or just like they just look like Mr. Peanut. Like it literally. My friends the other day, I was like, "What about this person?" Like,
you're not that guy.
Insanely obese, like people that if I got, which I have no judgment on fat people. So when I say they're insanely obese, there's no me being
just
like
a
they're
factual
bad.
statement.
It's just a fact. Like, but if I was obese, I would feel like society would judge me, and I would probably be depressed about that. So I look for things where I go, if I had that would be fucking hell. And these people are like dancing and like
but it's on social media. It's still like
no, it really helps me because.
But that's like we don't believe healthy people on social media.
It makes me grateful that I don't.
Why would we believe
those
unhealthy
people probably get off social media and they're like, "Fuck, I'm."
Of course they do. Of course they have hard times.
We watch like healthy people like
but
that's
the fact
fake.
that they're
That's
willing to put themselves on camera when I won't put myself on camera sometimes because I have like a little bit of like circles under my eyes, and this person doesn't have eyes or like their whole face has been burnt off, and they're like putting like that. If they can do it, then I just go. It just helps you think about gratitude of like I'm grateful I have skin on my face.
Sure.
Like the barest minimum. Even though I'm like my parents are dead and I lost my job. Like you can always find stuff to complain about. Like I've got a shitty hand in life. Well, at least you have a hand. Like literally, and that stuff helps. But I get depressed fucking every day in a different way, and I'm always looking for new things.
To Kevin's point about having to trick yourself into thinking you're happy at like way too young an age. My dad sat me down and was like, "John, you know how to trick yourself into being happy?" Like fourth grade, like fourth grade. It was, and he was like, you know, I have bad days at work all the time, and I just smile on the phone, and I trick myself, and I trick the people on the phone I'm talking to into thinking I'm happy. And you should try that.
You know, maybe not to like a third grader, but like
third or fourth grade.
Well, you must have already been showing signs.
And guess what? Motherfucker won best smile in 5th grade. Motherfucker won best smile in 8th grade. Motherfucker won best smile senior high school.
Is he still? Is he still smiling?
I'm talking about me.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Once he gave me that lesson, I was like, I'll just go around smiling all the time.
Well, so there must be something about it that works and also doesn't work because you're clearly still depressed when you're because people that watch you on the show are like that guy's such a happy, cool.
Oh no!
Like,
on this show, he's very open about it. So
right, but like if you were just watching like your TikToks or like you'd be like that guy is just the life of the party. This guy never gets sad. That you want to be. I want to absorb his energy. So does it like? It's not there right now, right? Like you're on right now. Like you're not feeling it right now, right? That's the way I feel too.
Yeah.
Like when I grab a microphone, it's
I'm
not
hooked
there.
up to the drug at the moment.
Yes, it's so
when
true.
When this goes away, it's
just
boy.
don't like. Did you read about Ellen's dancer Twitch
Yeah.
guy? Fuck, dude. I'm just like watching. He has 3 kids. He's dancing all over his living room with his family. He's
That's
like,
how you know truly is like there's no. It's chemical or whatever.
I think that's what
it's
I think
not.
after Chester Benningfield killed himself, his wife tweeted posted a picture. It was like, "This is what depression looks like." And it was like the day before he killed himself, and it's like, happy as a clam, like with
Yes.
his kids. So like, maybe 2 days before.
It's
he killed
so
someone.
fucked up, man. Like, please, well, whenever we talk about this stuff, it's just good to remind people that like the number is 988 that you call now. It's not like some long ass fucking number that you have to listen to a Logic song.
Pissed,
to
yeah.
The song doesn't make any sense anymore.
It's 988.
Ruin the
It's
hook.
like, and no one thinks you're cool if you kill yourself. No one's gonna like. Everyone's just bummed out, and then they move on to the next thing. Like the sad thing about I was listening to my boyfriend's radio show yesterday, and I heard it today, but the news came out as they're like recording, and they're doing celebrity news, like they're doing like their showbiz showdown or what, and so they're going through and they're like, oh well, Kirsten, or not Kirsten, that's a bad example, but they're like, oh, Scarlett Johansson says that she was, and then they're like, oh no, Twitch killed himself, and they're all just like,
Oh fuck.
well, Taylor Swift's 33rd
Yeah,
birthday.
that's
It's
it.
like
That's
that's
all
what
it
suicide
is.
is. If you think you're gonna get all of this, like, I mean, people are gonna like, because I know when I get suicidal thoughts, I go, I want to show people. Someone recently said that they heard a joke of a comedian was doing a joke about whenever they're on a plane and it starts to like shake, and they're like, maybe it'll crash and it'll be like a free suicide. And I'm like, for me, that would. When I'm suicidal, I want people to like know how fucking like I want to show people like it was that dark. They're only gonna know for like people who aren't in your extended family are only gonna care about
like
it for
10
5
seconds.
minutes.
5 minutes, and then
Yeah, not even,
and
not
then your
even,
family,
man. Like-
everyone else will move on really fast, and then the people you love will never be able to move on.
Right.
So
You
it's
ru-
the
you
worst
ruin
of
their
both worlds.
lives and
The
nobody cares.
Yes, and they're not gonna think about you. Like it's just not the answer. And I have to like say this for myself too sometimes, because when you're in that mindset, you just like convince yourself like, no, this is the way. But it's that really struck me today of just like, and Taylor Swift, and I was like, oh my god, like I would just be, if I ever did anything like that, and thinking I would leave some like lasting thing where
Legacy
maybe
on
a couple
somebody.
Reddit threads would stay afloat for a couple days of like, this is
That's
so
it.
sad, this was her
Yeah.
last picture.
Would you write a note? Would you have a note?
That's the thing that also keeps me from killing myself is that I'd have to clean my room, write a note, get my
Hide my
affairs in
sex
order.
toys.
Yes.
Clean up. Make sure the place doesn't look
Get
ugly.
the spray tan stains off the wall because people might think they're shit. Like all the things that like that
We
really
were just
does.
talking about that with the towels.
Yes.
Yes,
So when the
spray
girl was
tan.
like, I was
Did
like, what the
girls
fuck
shit
are you
in
doing
towels?
with these towels? Are you wiping your ass with the towels?
Yes, we are. And there's spray tan even back there.
The
corn in it.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like imagine like you killed yourself, and like say you killed yourself last month, and you're just like, I can't even think of a lyric right now, but like you're just a massive Kanye fan, and it was just like, it was like, they wanted me to
the
be
last
great.
line
They wanted me to be great, but they didn't want me to say I'm great. Like, so I'm out. And then, like in death, Kanye just becomes an anti-Semite. And you're like, sir, put you in my note, dude.
Well, do you ever?
Yeah, like, what can you write that it will truly last
But
forever?
forever.
You know?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Probably about it.
But Taylor's that's another thing that keeps me alive is like I don't want
Taylor?
to miss another album. I really and this tour like things like that to look forward to, and like that's the stuff that you have to focus on. But yeah, I really do go like, oh, when she announced that she was coming out with Midnights, I was like, I guess I gotta last till
At
October
least another
28th.
6 months.
I
you know?
really was like more cautious crossing streets and stuff. I was like, I would be so sad. It would
your
be
favorite-
one of my last words is like, just tell me how Midnights is on a Ouija board. Tell me your favorite tracks.
What are your favorite tracks?
Okay, let's talk about it.
The newest game from the KFC Radio franchise, Who's the Biggest Asshole? If you have Answer the Internet or you've seen the YouTube series, you know that Answer the Internet took over the entire YouTube world and the entire comedy world with the ridiculous hypothetical questions that came
Bella
out of KFC.
out now. Go watch that.
Go watch Abella Danger, her fourth or third Answer the Internet. And now we've done it again with our other segment on the show, Who's the Biggest Asshole? We took all of the best ones from the internet, all of the best ones from our callers, all of the best ones from the KFC Radio team in our personal lives, and we put together 500 social scenarios where you have to determine who the biggest asshole is. The box comes with gameplay and cards and points, and there's rules and judges and a drinking game, or you can just rip the deck out and you can fire off the questions and cards at a pregame or at the bar or on a road trip or at a family event, wherever. You can buy the game today. It's Who's the Biggest Asshole at store.barstoolsports.com. It's one of the best sellers, and it's for basically all ages and all family. So go to get Who's the Biggest Asshole, the card game today at the Barstool Sports Store.
I really, honestly, Lavender Haze is like
That's the one
that's
he
my
wrote
one.
off.
really.
I like it too.
I'm really.
I don't love Lavender Haze.
Maybe
There's
it's
a
something
correct
about,
answer to this, by the way.
Well,
There's
the
a
correct
correct
answer is
answer
would have, could have, should have, or
yes.
You're on Your Own, Kid are the two top spots for me, 100%, and they will always be. But I'm talking Lavender Haze has come up higher. Maroon.
Maroon is the definitive correct
It's
answer.
so fucking
Like,
good.
I don't care what your preferences are. That is the best song on that album.
Would have, could
This
have,
is-
should have is inarguably as almost as good as All Too Well.
Everyone who listens to Woodcock Show is like, this is one of her best songs of all
It
time.
is so good, and but Maroon is
Maroon's so good.
That's my probably favorite off of Midnight's, not with the 2 a.m. and then but You're on Your Own, Kid also.
Sweet Nothings, I love.
Oh, it's so good.
So cute.
It's so cute.
Yeah, so cute.
But even the ones I don't like, my least favorite is Snow on the Beach, and I post my
Which is
rankings
crazy
quite often.
because you would have thought that would have been like
That was one
the
I was like, I
Queens
can't wait
get
for this to rip
together.
me apart.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
but
it's
shit,
bombed. It's like one line and that's it.
I do like the weird but fucking beautiful line, but
She got a little heavy-handed with the cursing on this
Yeah.
album, and people are kind of
Fucks
calling
and-
her like out like, oh, she's like a girl who just learned to curse. But
Yeah.
I like
See,
it.
I
think
like
she-
it
I don't
very
think it was
much.
over the top.
I
I think she
didn't
sprinkled it in.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't find it too over the top, and I
It's more than usual for her, but like
And who cares if a man? I'm sorry to play the man thing, but if a man cussed, no one would be like, he's too much cussing. It's because she's a girl that had an image before. Fucking let it fly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
girl.
you're right. I think she's more genuine now than she was then, because then
I
she
want
was trying
Taylor
to be
Swift
like
to be like
the-
suck my dick. I want
Yeah.
Taylor Swift to say
Like-
that.
like
She
the-
almost, she kind of like, there's some
close.
naughty
in,
things.
in the song in Mad Woman. She says, "Does she mouth fuck you forever?"
Does she mouth fuck
Fuck
you?
you.
Like, does she
Yeah.
like mouth it? But it says, does she mouth fuck you forever?
For a long time, I was like, "Does she mouth?"
And then the
fuck you
one
forever?
lyric that's like, my pennies made your crown.
Yeah,
She's talking
that's
about
awesome.
Scooter being like, did
That
my
song
like
she
my
should've just been,
Spotify
like,
pennies
suck-
that you make up those albums.
My dick.
But it sounds like she said my panties made your ground, and I was like, I thought she was talking about like a guy.
Panties
Like
hit the
that's a
ground,
great
right?
way of being like,
By the way,
this guy and I are fucking now, and I'm like, oh, go Taylor, and then I heard it was pennies made your crown. I was
if
like,
you
oh.
ever want to be able to describe how unwavering her support is, she has a song on this album about just cheating on a guy,
Oh,
and
she
no
does.
one cares. Like cheating can be excused in I think in a million cases, but it's usually pretty excused in exceptionally toxic relationships, and she doesn't paint that picture. She's just like, I just fucking cheated on you, dude. And
Because we all know that he deserves. Like we're all just like, go Taylor.
That's
She
the way-
hasn't written a single song about
Dude,
this guy
Doesn't she
except
say the
I
date?
forgot you existed.
Doesn't she like say
yeah,
the
it's
date?
April 29th, I think.
Yeah,
Do
she's
you really
like,
want to
don't
know
ask
where
me.
I was April 29th? And
it's like, that's
Do you
the
really
day
want to
she's
know how he
fucking
brought
somebody
me
else.
back to life? Do we really have to paint the constellations in his eyes? It's like,
But you know,
Jesus,
in
you got turned
Gorgeous-
out, dude.
I got a boyfriend. He's older than us. He's in the club doing I don't know what.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
even in the song, Bejeweled, when I meet the band, they ask, "Do you have a man?" I can still say I don't remember. I mean, these are all leading to her being like.
So
I
heard an argument
It's
about
good.
that. Do you think she was saying I don't remember?
No,
or
she
I
was
don't,
saying.
comma, remember because you told me I'm not your boyfriend.
No, she's saying that this guy that like is always in the club working a lot,
Right,
and
you're
our
not
relationship
my
is
boyfriend.
already doomed, and I know it. And I go and I meet this band backstage,
Right.
and they're like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And she's like, "I actually don't remember," which is sending a signal to them like, "You can try to fuck me. I am."
So, but the argument I
cheat.
was hearing was that she's saying to the boyfriend, I don't, comma, remember? Like, you told me you're not my boyfriend.
Oh. But I don't.
I
well,
thought-
look at
I thought
the
it was the way
lyrics
you're talking about it.
on YouTube, and if there's a comma, then yours is
Yeah.
right. But if there's not,
Then
she's
it's just like, I don't remember.
she's
yeah.
grammatically
I thought it worked
very
either way to be like,
precise.
I don't remember. You told me we're not,
She's,
we're not
Yeah.
she's so
dating.
grammatically precise. Remember in fucking, she changed it. But when Folklore first came out, there was a song where it was like, in it was they capitalized North, and it was because he was like talking about she was talking about like Kanye's kid.
Whoa! I didn't know that.
It
That's
was
a deep
because
cut.
she made it
That's
capitalized?
that's what the rumor was, and then and
She
then
changed it to
and then it was
lowercase?
changed to lowercase.
Okay.
Well, so
yeah, 'cause she
then,
didn't capitalize
if you're gonna do it,
anything
you
in
gotta-
folklore.
But she says two different. She says two north, south, east, west, whatever those are called, directions. She says two separate directions in that lyric, and only north was capitalized.
yeah, she was definitely sending a sign. I don't like these revisions. Like
I
when
was going
she.
to say that, but then she should have stuck with it.
in
Like
the-
when she took down the fat, I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either. I don't think it was a right move for her because she was saying fat is wrong. Like she looks and she sees fat, and obviously that's wrong because the girl's looking at her in the mirror being like, no,
But that's
girl.
just, that's her own. That's
She's
that's
not
her
wrong.
own demon she's fighting with.
The problem with the world is with this whole fat shaming thing. the problem with why Taylor Swift doesn't want to be fat is not because fat is wrong inherently or it makes a bad person. It's because society tells us, because constantly everything in media says fat is wrong.
Right.
And so that's what she was saying. She was saying that society says fat is wrong. She wasn't saying fat is wrong.
And guess what? If you don't get that, you're a fucking idiot. You're a
such
fat idiot.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's the same thing you were saying about The Office. If you don't understand that Michael Scott is a moron saying these things,
Yes.
that's the whole point.
When
is that
people-
it's not right.
The body positivity movement, it needs a little bit of a wake up call of like when women, there's been times on my podcast where I'm like, I've gained some weight, I'm like feeling really bad about myself, and people go, but you're thin, like how could you? And it's like, because
That's bullshit.
I know how the world works, and if you're telling me that Hollywood likes fat people, you're delusional.
Right.
You think that this is fixed? You think because they put one fat woman on This Is Us, or there's like we had Adele
or some shit.
before, Rebel Wilson before.
But then also Adele got in trouble for losing weight.
Yeah, that
right?
was crazy.
Exactly. Well, it's like, but it's not fixed. There is still a total. Hollywood doesn't like fat people still. I like fat people. I don't have a problem. I wish I could be fat and feel like
They
I
are
could
a
still
little
have a career,
loud.
but I could. I don't think I could.
They're a little loud.
And it's like,
No, it does get forced. It's like they put you on the cover, and it's not
I
because
do like-
people want to see that. It's because the
well, I like that. I think they
company
do
is
need
making
to
it happen,
force
you know?
that. I think they need to force that
but I'm
down our
saying
throats.
it's not there yet. It's still,
not there yet,
It's not like
yes.
people like, the day I remember when one of the athletes, some athlete came out as gay. The first one, I'm forgetting his name because
Mateo?
my
I'm just
point
kidding.
is that it's so inconsequential. But there was this. A lot of
I
people
remember,
reacted
yeah.
as like, "This is nobody even cares." And I was like, first of all, the idea was kind of like,
Why do you
if-
need to tell us this? It's a sport. Just play your
Right,
sport.
no, more like this is so it's so not a big deal is the proof that we're okay with it,
Right.
And it's like no, that
No.
guy's still gonna run into people who call him and like it's a problem on the football field. So
Yes.
he still deserves props for all that.
Yes.
But it is sort of like it was more accepted and kind of like glossed over.
That's the
and
thing, is that people when girls say I'm fat and they're sad about it, people go, don't be sad. That means you're fat shaming people who are fat, and it's like, no, I'm still seeing the world for what it is.
Right.
I don't
It's
like.
just, let's be honest.
I don't
you
like
know?
what I'm living in, where
Yeah.
fat people are discriminated against, but I'm still living in that world, and I want to. And as much as I wish it was different, I still have to like play that game, and I don't want to play that game. And I think that we need to. My point is, I would love if I got really fat someday to be able to still have a career, and I don't believe that I would be able to.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
And it's like I have this whole bit about it now, and it's touchy to talk about as a woman who's like thinner, to be like talking about that Hollywood has a fat problem and to say stuff, but it's like, I don't know. I've just felt like backlash sometimes from women of being like, you're setting a bad example by crying about how you've gained weight, and it's like, because
This is
because
fucking real.
Look
Let me
around
fucking-
you.
yeah.
You
It's
think
like,
we're
just-
okay? You
just
think
be
everyone's
honest.
okay with this?
Yeah.
It's just,
Just
it's
be
just.
honest about it.
But then you still get like scared of like being canceled. But at the end of the day, I'm always just like, do I hate fat people? No. So that's where I go, well, no, I'm not doing anything to make fat people feel bad about themselves. I'm just trying to call out the way it is.
The world you live in, yeah.
Yes, and I do
The only
love.
fat person I hate is John. You're the only one.
Me?
Yeah.
I just laughed in that.
I just saw his IV drip got just taken out for a second. I saw this like micro expression of just sadness.
That was great.
It's just like John took a little longer to get to my head than everything else.
Like-
I was like, yeah, I hate him too.
I like that fat has become like what fat people are like, I'm fat, and people go, no, you're not, and they go, no, it's not bad to
like-
be
right,
fat.
right.
But it's also like literally, come on.
But yeah,
We're talking about something that
but they're also like, I like that fat acceptance is like, we're not trying to be like big boned or
Plus
husky
size,
lady,
curves, whatever.
fat, and it
Hus-
doesn't.
bro, if somebody called me husky, if I was a chick and they called me husky instead of fat, that would be that. Now
Husky
you're.
is made for peewee linebackers or husky.
Yeah, you
Yes,
said it to her.
yes.
Oh, she's husky.
Oh,
Holy
boy.
shit! Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they used to say that about when I had I got vocal cord surgery, but I used to have much huskier voice.
You had a
and I
husky
would always
voice.
be like, "Shut up, it's big boned." Like I was because it did make you. But that's because culture says there's something wrong with being fat when there really is not.
Right.
Except for all the all the things that come with it.
No,
not being
except
wrong.
for like, well,
except for all the wrong things about it.
no, just well, it's not wrong.
It's not wrong. It's
People
not.
who are
my
fat
favorite
either
story
have
to
a
tell
thyroid
is-
condition or have a emotional eating problem.
Yeah.
And guess what? We all have emotional problems. Some of us grab food, some of us grab drugs, some of us grab Diet Cokes and whatever the fuck some of us beat your kids. Like, it's a way to feel better. So when I see someone who's fat, I'm never like, what a fucking lazy loser.
Oh no, I don't think that.
Well, not that
But
you guys
the-
think that, but I'm just like, I think that's what people think. I'm just like, no, they just like are abusing a substance of their choice that happens to be one that shows up on you. They're no different to me than like
You can just see my vice. 'cause
yeah,
I'm
you can
fat.
see it, and
Yeah.
other people get to hide theirs, and unfortunately, theirs shows up, and we associate it with like they're like gross or wrong, but they're no different than someone who drinks every night or has any kind of problem.
Yeah. I got a buddy who's a big guy, and every time he goes to the doctor just goes, "We'll just lose 20 pounds, then we'll talk about it." And he's like,
That's so shitty.
He's like, it's so cheap and so funny too. like
As if
we
it's so
laugh
easy.
about it together, him and I. So I'm laughing about it on this.
So because like he's like, I can't treat any of this
He's
until
like,
you.
he's like, why don't you just lose 20 pounds, then we'll talk.
God. And they offer no support. They're just like,
That's
eat
the system,
less and
baby.
exercise more.
Yeah, no
Oh.
fucking kidding, guy. Yeah, like, I haven't thought of
Yeah.
that.
Actually, I think the reason is 50. Why don't you drop 50 pounds, we'll talk about it.
Jesus Christ.
Just lose a fifth grader and you'll be good.
Oh
my God.
Well,
All
you
right,
really covered it all.
let's wrap it up.
Jesus Christ.
We have a new game. Like Answer the Internet. It's called
Oh.
Who's the Biggest Asshole?
Okay,
Similar
great.
but different. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So wrap up here. Anything? Tell the people. I mean, you're.
Oh, I'm on tour. You can hear this and more on tour. It's called the Good Girl Tour. It's everywhere right now. I have a podcast called the Nikki Glaser Podcast. F-Boy Island. If you're a streamer out there, if you want to give us a home because HBO dropped us.
Solo
That'd be great.
podcast now, huh?
Yeah, solo podcast, baby. Yeah.
that going?
Well, you know, things change. The band breaks up, relationships end. Like, I feel like podcast partnerships, I've had many of them in my life, and they end eventually. Like, you outgrow one another. And it's hard
It's like
for
somebody
Andrew Collin
gets a
was my
girlfriend.
No, Andrew Collin was my co-host, and I love him. He's so funny. But our dynamic was like, it's the Nikki Glaser podcast, and he's the sidekick. But Andrew is a front man. You know, like
Yeah.
you can't have two front men in a band where the band is the Nikki Glaser band. You know, like he wants to be his own front
Wants a
man.
solo album.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be a sidekick anymore. And I get it. And I couldn't be a sidekick.
Right.
And I think that a lot of times early on in performers' careers, they will take whatever opportunity comes at them because it's a good opportunity, and then they start to outgrow it, and they go, no, I want to like go out on my own. So he's Harry Stylesing it. We were in One Direction,
Yep.
and he,
So who are you?
I was gonna say you're Harry
don't
Styles.
know. Okay.
You're- I wanna say you're
He's
Harry.
Liam
I'm Simon
Neal,
Cowell. I
or-
put it all
Tomlinson,
together.
not Neeson.
No, what's his name?
Louis Tomlinson. Oh,
Yeah.
it's Liam Payne.
Liam Payne.
Yeah, no, he's
This is
Garfunkel,
Zayn.
but he's gonna have a better career. It's like, but his name wasn't even in the show. Like, I get it. Like,
it
and
was
I guess
time.
you're like, oh, you could change the name. It was just time. We've been touring together forever. He has his own life. Like, our dynamic was kind of based on me being the host, him being the sidekick. So when that changes, you just move on. It's like any relationship. And people are like, are you guys still friends? It's like, we will be, but like
Not
when
right
you
now.
break up with your girlfriend and you guys are like, we love each other and we'll be friends, you don't just go right to being friends.
No, you need
you
some
need
space.
a little time to like
Yeah.
come back. We'll come back together eventually, and
Sure.
and yeah, there's no ill will
Okay.
really. I mean, I'm not gonna say no because it's like it's contentious when things end, but it actually ended pretty smoothly. So
Smooth as they can, right?
I miss him. I wish him the best, and we'll be friends again. Not worried about it. So check out Andrew Collin and his podcast, whatever he does. He's fucking hilarious. He's going to be a star in his own right, and follow him on Instagram.
Cool. Make sure you subscribe to KFC Radio on YouTube to get all the video content. Subscribe, comment, like, and make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you know whenever new video content drops.
I want to say something, but the video has to be fast. So that's it.